South Florida's waterways are particularly sensitive to nutrient pollution. Nutrient pollution occurs when large amounts of nutrients, specifically nitrogen and phosphorus, enter our waterways in larger quantities than what our environment is designed to handle. These nutrients come from sewage leaks, pet waste, septic tanks, and fertilizer runoff, also known as point source pollution. Nutrient pollution can lead to other problems in our waterways. Problems like algae blooms, which can overwhelm fish and corals and cause shifts in the function of our ecosystems, also known as regime shifts. This is what's happening in our bay, and these images are from 2020. You may ask, why is this happening? The water quality diminishes as the water turns cloudy and becomes overrun with nutrients. Nutrient pollution can cause the bay to lose its seagrass beds, which is an important habitat for aquatic life. Without seagrass and the stabilization of sediments, the overall quality of our water can be devastatingly impacted, as we see here. Fertilizer is full of nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. These extra nutrients are great for your plants when they're used in moderation, but oftentimes fertilizer applied to lawns will be swept away in stormwater and contribute to nutrient pollution, which causes many of these water issues. Experts estimate that residential lawn fertilization is the second largest source of household nitrogen in the US, and the driving force for nutrient problems here in South Florida. So what can we do about it? Fortunately, the City of Miami Fertilizer Ordinance was passed in April 2020 and includes all areas within City of Miami limits. The new requirements of the ordinance apply to any fertilizer user, both commercial and residential. It enacts restrictions on what kind of fertilizer can be used, when they can be used, and where they can be used. So here's what you need to know about the ordinance and how you can help protect our water. The fertilizer blackout period is from May 15th to October 31st. During this time of the year in South Florida, the rainfall is so frequent and heavy, your plants won't likely have enough time to take up any added nutrients, and they'll end up directly in the storm drains. Applying fertilizer during this period is a waste of time and money. When applying fertilizer outside of the blackout period, the fertilizer used must be composed of 65% slow-release nitrogen and 0% phosphorus. This will ensure that the fertilizer applied will be released over a longer period of time. The amount of nitrogen applied to your lawn is also key. Here's a clip that breaks down the numbers.
The new rule allows 4 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. When you're applying fertilizer, you should know the square footage of your lawn so you can be sure that you're not applying too many nutrients. You should know what your lawn needs and if that fertilizer is going to meet those needs. Again, 0% phosphorus is required in this ordinance. There's a simple way to find out if your bag of fertilizer is within the new nitrogen requirements. First, you want to identify these 3 numbers on your bag of fertilizer. This first number represents the amount of nitrogen. The second number is the amount of phosphorus, and the final number is the amount of potassium. For this ordinance, we're really focused on the amount of nitrogen and phosphorus because that's what's most affecting Biscayne Bay. So to determine the amount of nitrogen, we've identified that there's 8% nitrogen in the bag. We want to multiply that amount by the weight of the bag. As we can see down here, it is 50 pounds. 8% or 0.08 multiplied by 50 pounds is 4 pounds of nitrogen, meaning this bag has 4 pounds of nitrogen and can be used for 1,000 square feet.
Now there are other essential requirements of this ordinance. When working on your lawn, you should control the grass clippings and any vegetative debris from being washed into storm drains, as they can also be a source of pollution. Always use a deflector shield when applying fertilizer and avoid getting that fertilizer on any impervious surface like a sidewalk or driveway. When fertilizer gets on these surfaces, they're almost immediately washed into storm drains and waterways. Another important rule is to mind your buffer zone. A buffer zone requires at least 20 feet between the fertilizer application area and any waterway or storm drain. A 20-foot buffer zone makes it more difficult for any nutrient to reach waterways by creating more distance for it to travel. Additionally, FEDP offers a Florida-friendly Best Management Practices course for water resources. This is a comprehensive course that's intended for lawn care professionals, but can be a valuable tool for homeowners as well. If you see something suspicious or notice that the regulations aren't being followed, report it to discharge@miamigov.com or simply call 311.